Hello and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm your host, Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Reverend Phoenix Coffin Williams.
Hey,
Thank you for joining me tonight, Phoenix.
thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to join for Tarot Thursday.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you with me, and thank you everyone who is joining us. If you have a question, please go ahead and post it in chat, and we will be happy to do three card, more or less, tarot pulls for you. And how's the weather in Buffalo tonight?
It is cold, but interestingly enough, it is not currently snowing. That's a feat. That is a feat.
That's good. It's cold in Nashville, and we're expecting snow.
Love it for you.
I don't, but It was 17 when I rolled out of bed this morning.
Yeah, that's cold. That is cold. I'm not I don't like the cold all that much, and I think it's crazy when the temperature is so low that we owe the atmosphere heat just to get to be above freezing.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to our first Tarot Thursday of the new year.
Happy New Year indeed.
And what Happy New Year to which school that is probably Ed?
Happy New Year. Did you do anything fun or exciting for New Year?
I did not. Hello to Sherry. Welcome. What
Hey,
about you?
me? So for New Year's, like the whole nighttime celebration and what have you, I stayed in, cooked some dinner, hung out with Eddie. But the next day, the Temple of Holistic Knowledge and two other circles in Buffalo, we got together and did an opening the new year, um, which was a great ritual. It was a transpossession ritual, and a few people did actually get possessed by some gods, and that was pretty exciting for us.
That sounds wonderful. Happy New Year to Zebra. Good to see you.
Happy New Year, Zebra. Happy New Year, Sherry. Happy New Year, Ed. Hope y'all are doing well. And of course, if y'all got questions, let's get these cards hot.
Yeah, go ahead and post your questions, Ed. Thank you for checking on the channels. No, we stayed in on New Year. We were invited to a bonfire, but it was getting down in the 20s. So we did not go to the bonfire.
Heard on that. It's not a bonfire hot enough to get me out in 20-degree weather. Sherry, do you have any questions regarding what's to come for you in the new year, the next couple of months? What's on your heart and mind?
Yeah, anybody got a question for us? Well, while we're waiting, will you do a general New Year's reading for me, please?
Yes, I will. Pick a number 1 through 4.
4.
Mm-hmm. So the first card that you have is the Waxing Moon. And the general message on that is, may there be light over darkness. It's time to rise and shine. And then the gods themselves would like to say to you, first and foremost, you've got a negative aspect coming forward. And the message on that is, sometimes the best win is to choose what you're willing to lose.
Okay.
The second message is also a card in its negative form, and it cautions you that to avoid reality only makes you face the same issues again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps by the time the waxing moon occurs or is upon you again, you will have chosen what you want to sacrifice in order to have your victory, and you will be disengaging with a pattern that is problematic for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right. I think we have a question from Ed. Ed said, so I am at a crossroads. I know what I think, but it can fool me. And then Sherry also has a question. Hey, Michael, good to see you.
Hey, Michael. Hope you're well.
Yes, you can, Zebra.
So, for you, Reverend Ed Hubbard, the first thing that's being said to you is it's time to banish all evil. So, whatever crossroads you're at, whatever it is that you're thinking, go ahead and do a general cleansing or banishing on the situation. Get rid of that negative influence on there and see if your thoughts are still the same. The second card that's coming up for you says that when death calls us, there is no place to hide. So when it's the end, it is the end. And of course, death is the great equalizer. So keep that in mind at all times. But then your third card says that the joy of life is seen through the eyes of innocence, which is an interesting thing to kind of happen here to get a card that references death and a card that references life. So, while some things might be an illusion, it also is time for you to go ahead and give birth to that illusion and make it less of an illusion and more a reality.
All right, Ed. First card I've got for you is the Eight of Lamps. So the Eight of Lamps is about perfecting your craft and making it real. I had the Four of Pentacles, which is about being in a good position financially. And then I have the High Priestess, which is about consulting with your higher self or your spirit guides. So I would say regarding illusion, to speak with your guides about it, but overall, you are in a good position. Hey, Swamp Fan, good to see you. Good evening, Sally. Yes, post if you want a general reading or a specific one. We do have several people ahead of you, though.
Mm-hmm. So, someone asked if they were going to be secure in their job. I think that was Sherry.
Yes, Sherry is next. Sherry wants to know if she will be secure in her job.
Mm-hmm. And so the first, so you also get the message, Sherry, that it's time to banish all evil. So if there's some stuff happening at work that's unsatisfactory to you, if there are people at work who are causing you trouble or giving you reason to feel insecure, go ahead and do some banishing magic on that. It could be as simple as sprinkling some yew herb and some cayenne pepper along the floors at your place of business, so that like harmful energies that step into it and walk into it are moved away from you. It could be as simple as giving all your enemies at work some juicy fruit bubble gum to make them a little bit sweet. That is a little hoodoo trick, real quick. But overall, the thing that the gods want to say to you is that those who deny reality will always live a distrustful life. So while you might be feeling insecure about work, go ahead and take a look at what you might be doing to contribute to that insecurity. The second thing that's being said to you is a chaotic life is the result of chaotic choices. So if you are the kind of person who constantly invites drama into your workplace or into your world, just understand that that's going to continue until you kind of calm that down a little bit. Hopefully you find that helpful and not insulting.
All right, the first card I've got for you is mine. When this card comes up, it means you're missing some information about the situation. So there's something going on around your job that you don't know about right now. So be aware of that and work on finding it out. Now, the next card I have is the Nine of Pentacles, which says you're going to be in a good position financially. If it's not this job, perhaps it's another job. And finally, I have magic, which means you have the ability to manifest the reality you want. So the question is this the job you want? Do you want to manifest a different situation altogether? So ask yourself those questions. And I hope that's helpful. All righty.
And then
And
Zebra, you asked for a
next,
general reading, right?
yes, Zebra wants a general reading for the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so for you, Zebra, the first card that you get is the new moon. And the message for the new moon is looking within can reveal the mysteries of the universe. So automatically it's a call to increase in your meditation and your journey inward, that shadow work, so to speak. The looking inward, the self reflection, the introspection always reveals new skills and talents and new insights. So definitely lean into that. The next card that you get is a card in its negative aspect. Actually, no, this card is not in its negative aspect. It says that brightness and glories to those who deserve them. So you actually do or are in a place to receive some accolades, promotion, maybe something that lets you know that the people who are watching you understand your value, understand your hard work, understand what you bring to the table. And then the next card that you get is also a card in its positive aspect. And the message for Ijiogbe is your reality is as big as you can dream, which means that for this year, make your dreams big and allow that to come to you because it is meant for you. There is an ordination or a calling or an anointing of good things on you for this year.
All right. First card I've got for you is past. Here we have got an older woman looking at her reflection as a younger woman in the water. And this card is talking to us about looking at the past and looking at what no longer serves us. So let go of what patterns, associations, anything that is no longer serving you. Now, here we've got the Nine of Lamps. Lamps are about spirituality and about magic. And with the nine, we are talking about coming to completion and gaining mastery. We've also got the Three of Swords. Three is usually a number of good fortune, and swords are about communication. So be especially careful around your communications. now, right now, and going into the new year. But I would say it's a time to be letting go of old patterns, but overall, I'm seeing it as a fortunate reading. Okay. And so Sally said, okay, so we will do a general reading for Sally since she didn't ask for a specific question, unless, let me see here. Sherry says, thank you both. Ed says, thank you, my lord and lady. You are both welcome.
Both very welcome.
Zebra says, sorry I got kicked out. I will have to listen to this on replay. Thank you both for your time and your reading. You're welcome, Zebra. All right, so we're going to do a general for Sally.
And Sally, your first card is the Waxing Moon. And the message behind the waxing moon is, may there be light over darkness. It's time to rise and shine. So it's a call to action for sure, for sure. Your second card is a card in its positive aspect, O'Shea. Brightness and glories to those who deserve them. So again, this is saying that there is a time coming upon you where you will be recognized for your contributions. You will be recognized for what is due to you. So, in other words, when it's time to give credit where credit is due, you are coming due. Your second card is actually a card in its negative aspect. And it says that when the heart screams, reasoning goes silent. So if there's anything that's happening around you right now that is causing a heartache, be sure to lean into that and move into that pain in a realistic and open-hearted kind of way to maybe make sure that your other faculties do not disengage. Do not let the pain in your heart disengage your critical thinking. Do not let the pain in your heart disengage your compassion or your empathy. Do not let anything that you are yearning for distract you from the reality of your life, so to speak.
Okay. Now, the first card I've got for you is the Queen of Cups. So, this is talking about being in control of your emotions and being in a position to enjoy your relationships. I have the Nine of Cups, which is known as the Wish card. Reverend Don calls it the best card in the deck and the worst card in the deck because it means whatever you wish for, you're going to get. What it means is wherever your energy goes, that's what you're going to get. So if you are focusing on positive, you're going to get positive. If you're focusing on the negative, you're going to get the negative. So be sure you are focusing your energies on positive things right now so you bring positive back to you. Next, we've got the King of Pentacles, who I've always thought looked a little bit like Phoenix. And the King of Pentacles means that you're going to be in a good position in the material realm and be able to do what you want to be able to do. So overall, this is a positive reading going into the new year. And that brings us up to Jody Ray, who has asked for a reading.
Yes, Jody Ray, coming right up. All right, so the first card for you, the new moon. Looking in can reveal the mysteries of the universe. Card number one, or card number two rather, is um, OD, which is a card in its negative aspect. There is no easy way when pain comes from the heart. So, whatever it is that you are grieving or mourning, there's no way through it but through it. And there's nothing that can ease that up for you. There's nothing that can lessen that blow for you. You got to go through it and take the lessons as they come. While you're doing that, however, you get another card, again in its negative aspect. It's Okaran. The dangers of the world are always lurking. So these two in combination together kind of give that perhaps you lean towards avoidance of painful feelings and emotions. And the gods are reminding you that the reality of the world, painful feelings, happy feelings, painful thoughts, happy thoughts, painful relationships, happy relationships, these are always a part of our experience as people who are incarnated. So there's no way around that. There's no way away from that. There's no kind of magic that can obscure that. You got to feel it. You got to go through it.
Okay. On that same line, the first card I've got for you is the Ace of Cups. Cups are the suit of emotional energy, and aces represent the essence of it. So there is just a whole bunch of emotional energy around you right now. You're dealing with an awful lot of emotions. The next card I've got for you is the Prince of Lamps. As you can see, he's the sort of ascetic who wraps himself in wires and looks like he's kind of eating something nasty. And when this card comes up, it means something that you want is just really not the best thing for you. And you would do well to change your course. But the last card I've got for you is Magic. So you can manifest what you want. You need to figure out what your best course is and then work on manifesting it. So I hope that is helpful. And then our next person here is Juan, who has asked for a reading.
Yes, Juan. We got you. Your first card, of course, is a moon phase card, and that card is the full moon. All right, that's the first time we got the full moon tonight. And the message for the full moon is fully live in the powers of the universe. This is a card that talks about you being in your full power. And it also talks about maybe giving an offering to your spirit guides on the full moon as a way of nurturing and growing in that power. The second card you get is a card in its positive aspect. It is Osa. Fire and passion run through your veins. Fire, passion, manifestation, the ability to make your dreams into a reality are encompassed in these two cards together so far. And then your third card is also another card in its positive aspect. It is Okaran. Those who have the gods or the Orisha's blessings are destined to enjoy happiness. Definitely make an offering to your guides, your gods, your spirit guides on the full moon in Thanksgiving for the fire and the passion that runs through your veins, your ability to move and shake and make things a reality, and for the fact that you do have a blessing or an anointing on your head from your gods.
Okay. So the first card I have for you is the Nine of Cups. It came up earlier. again, we have the wish card. So be careful of your energies. If you are focused on positive things, you are going to bring positive things to you. If your energies are negative, you're going to bring negative back to you. Next card I have is the Queen of Lamps. When this card comes up, and this is especially pertaining to spirituality and magic, you need to be working within the circle of those you know and things you already have to accomplish your goals. Don't reach out for anything new right now. And finally, I've got the Eight of Cups. So here we see a man paralyzed in fear, but what he's afraid of is nothing. So whatever you're afraid of is not as bad as you think it is, and you need to move through your fear and go ahead and act. And I hope you find that helpful. And we are going to pause right now for a word from our sponsors. So just a moment, please. And thank you, Equinox Learning Hub.
Ready to unlock the secrets of the universe? Join me, Reverend Don Lewis, for my metaphysical and magic auctions at Gaia Thrift at whatnot.com. Discover fascinating artifacts, mystical crystals, and rare and unusual books that could change your life. Don't miss this chance to bring a little magic into your world. Reverend Don's Metaphysical and Magic Auctions, where the extraordinary can become yours.
Where the extraordinary can become yours.
And thank you to Reverend Don's Shoulds. And I also want to bring up that we will be having an auction to support Divination TV on January 26th at 5 p.m. on whatnot.com. We'll have a event up soon, and Divination TV fans can use the code DivTV for 20% off. We'll be offering various divination tools, and that will be going to support Restream and our other services that keep us on the air. And now, SWAT Fan is our next reading. And SWAT Fan says, what does my career look like in my near future? I love fitness, but I somehow feel called to do law enforcement. I feel torn, but also disappointed in myself because I don't feel successful.
That's deep. That's deep. One thing that I would like to say is that this might sound really invalidating, but feelings are not it. Our thoughts are not it. Feelings are temporary. They always come and go. They always change. Even the ones that seem to persist and last a long time eventually fade and give way to other feelings. And it's the same thing for thoughts. So when it comes to what you base your life on, I would urge you to leave your thoughts and feelings behind and instead build your life on values, those things that you really, really stand for. And with that, I also say that the first card that you have is the new moon, and it is calling for you to look within, do some of that soul searching, ideally find out what you stand for, find out what your values are. Is it success? Is it finances? Is it family? Is it trust? Is it education? What are your values? Because those will be the mysteries that unlock the universe for you. The next card that you get is a card in its negative form. It is Ocaron in a negative form, and it says that the dangers of the world are always lurking. To connect that with your question, it does kind of give a nod towards that law enforcement kind of aspect. The second card that you get, or excuse me, the third card you get is also a card in its negative aspect, O'Shea. The shine of gold fascinates but also dazzles. And so this would be a warning that perhaps success is not in the amount of money that you make, but in the impact that you have on the world. So hopefully that's a really strong hint on where you can put your intentions.
All right. And so the cards I have for you, the first card I have is the Magus, which means you do have the ability to create the life you want. That doesn't tell you which one to pick because, well, I can't tell you which one to pick. Or maybe it's something else entirely. You have the Sun, which indicates good fortune, and you have the Nine of Lamps, which is talking about mastery of craft, which is a little closer to the topic. So, what do you feel like is a mastery for you? Is the best advice I have for you. What is a craft you could master and share with others? And I hope that is helpful. All right. And next up, we have Yasmin. And Yasmin wants to know if they will get their promotion at work this month.
All right, all right, all right. So let's give these a good little mix. Waxing Moon is the first card that you get. May there be light over darkness. It's time to rise and shine. This indicates that perhaps an elevation is in order for you. Second card is a card in its negative form. Alafia, a chaotic life is the result of chaotic choices. Keep that in mind in between now and the next waxing moon. Make sure that you don't make any choices that would cause someone to look at you a second time and find out for some reason that you perhaps are not worthy or find a reason to look for fault in you. The next card that you get is a card in its positive aspect. It is Orin, and it says, good luck is only one step ahead. So if there's something that you've got to do at work to solidify this promotion, go ahead and do it. but it definitely says that there is one more thing that you need to do to step into that good fortune and into that good luck. Make some offerings to your spirit guides and to your deities on the waxing moon. Maybe offer an egg, maybe offer some tobacco and rum, maybe offer some candies and sweets, but really like anything to sweeten your spirit's disposition towards you to help guide you into that place a little bit more seamlessly.
All right. So, excuse me. First card I have is the Queen of Lamps, who suggests working within the people you know and what you already have. I have time, this is the Mayan god of time, who I cannot correctly pronounce. Perhaps Reverend Phoenix would like to, but I can't.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head to say it. If I was reading it, I could.
And he counsels that time comes in cycles. And this suggests if it does not happen right now, it will happen. We have temperance, where we can see this being is both male and female. We see day and night, white and a person of color. And this is about pulling many different pieces together to make a larger whole. And this is the skill set you're going to need for the promotion. I also had a jumper. And this is the Prince of Swords, which is sometimes read as selfishness. It can also be read as doing what you need to do for yourself. So I'm going to read this as really look at what skills you need to be showing that you have to get this promotion. And then I'm just going to pull one more card, which is the Five of Lamps, which really suggests taking a good hard look at yourself and what you need to do in order to get the promotion. So I hope you find that helpful, Yasmin. Okay. And
Is Reverend Michael?
Reverend Michael has asked for a general reading.
Mm-hmm. Reverend Michael, you have for your first card the new moon. And the new moon is looking within, can reveal the mysteries of the universe. It's a call for introspection. It's a call for shadow work. It's a call for meditation. It's a call for self-affirmation, so to speak. Your second card is a card in its positive aspect. It is Obara. Happiness is the greatest wealth the gods can give. And then your third card is a card in its negative aspect. Okran, the dangers of the world are always lurking. So while the gods are anointing you with happiness, there's also the warning that you should pay attention to your surroundings, avoid making mindless mistakes, or avoid being willfully ignorant in certain aspects of your life. So definitely buck up, use your keen senses, and allow the greatest wealth that the gods have for you, that happiness, to dawn on your life.
Okay, Michael. The first card I've got for you is the Six of Wands. And this means gaining whatever it is you've been seeking to achieve. I also have the High Priestess, which is taking counsel with your spirit guides or your higher self. And I have the Princess of Wands, which suggests you're holding back and somehow not taking action on something because you're concerned about how other people will perceive it. So I hope you find that helpful. And then let's see here. And then Nettie has asked for a reading.
All right, Nettie P. Your moon phase is the waning moon. It's time to banish all evil. Now, if you want to banish some evil from your life, you can do that with a bath. You can do that with some rue herb. You can do that with some blessed thistle. You can do that by putting some sulfur on a charcoal dish or striking a few matches. But either way, cleanse your aura, cleanse your home, cleanse your life of negative energy and evil. The next card you get is a card in its negative aspect. It is called Igionile. The tongue is the whip of the body. Maybe you got to be careful with the stuff that you say. Maybe you got to be careful with how you speak to the people in your life or the people around you. Also, be careful about how you let people speak to you. You are not here to give anyone a tongue lashing at this moment, and you are not here to be receiving a tongue lashing from anybody else, and that is being made clear by this first card. The next card you get is a card in its positive aspect. Obara, happiness is the greatest wealth the gods can give. All right, now, so watch your mouth, set boundaries, and make sure other people watch their mouth when they're talking to you, and that happiness will be bestowed upon you, and you will be able to recognize it.
Okay, so the first card I have for you is the Seven of Lamps. And with this card, we see a woman bathing in a pond or a lake under the full moon. And this is talking about cleansing ourselves from anything negative that could hold us back. And before I show you the next card, I need to do a little explanation. I read with the Infinite Tarot by Reverend Don Lewis. When he did the Kickstarter for this deck, one of the options was to commission a card. And I asked, cackle, cackle. I asked him to draw me as the Queen of Swords because this card has been representing me for about 30 years now. So, he did a wonderful job with it. Anyway, the Queen of Swords is about direct communication, and it's about considering what has worked for you in your current situation and what has not worked for you in your current situation. So, or in previous situations, and applying that to your current situation. And finally, I have the Queen of Lamps for about the 4th or 5th time tonight. I should have kept count. So, this is about working with the people you already know and things you already have at your disposal in your current situation. So, I hope you find this useful, Nettie.
Nettie, I will say that between both of these readings, it has become super clear that you should probably take a cleansing bath. Absolutely.
Yes, I would do that tonight. Before you go to bed tonight, take a nice cleansing bath. If you don't have anything else available, table salt is fine. Sea salt is good if you have that, but table salt will be fine. And then, let's see here. And Jody Ray says, hubby Jack is sitting right here. He would like a reading.
Jack, for you, first card is the Waning Moon. It's time to banish all evil. Now, I did shuffle that, but it's calling on you to also remove some negativity from your life. It's calling for you to straighten out that aura, straighten out those energies that surround you, and tighten that up a little bit. The second card that you get is a card, Ocaron, in its negative aspect. The dangers of the world are always lurking. So in combination with the banish all evil, it's kind of given that perhaps people surrounding you, maybe in the workplace, maybe in your social field, maybe even some relatives in your family don't have the best intentions toward you. So in addition to banishing evil, I would do some return to sender magic for sure as well. And that will help you identify who those unworthy people are. The thing about doing return to sender magic, just like as a regular component of your life, means that the people who start, like once you do your return to sender spell, the people who start to talk to you about the messed up stuff happening in their lives will be the ones who actually had the bad intentions for you. That's how that kind of spell works. And you don't have to run the risk of any karma because it's really just throwing up some mirrors and sending back what was sent at you. So if people are sending wonderful things toward you, they will start to be like, hey, wonderful things are happening around me too. And you'll start to know who's got good intentions for you. The third card that you get is a card in its positive aspect, Ijioko. The joy of life is seen through the eyes of innocence. So once you banish that evil, once you become aware of the dangers that are lurking around you, it'll be a good time for you to let your guard down and regard the other people in your life with good intentions, with less suspicion, with less less suspicion, and you can approach them as friends, as allies, and as resources. So banish that evil, get it away from you. What remains is the good stuff that's for you. You can regard that open-hearted and open-minded.
Okay, so the first card I've got for you is the Princess of Cups. Cups are around emotions, and the Princess of Cups tends to hold back on expressing emotions or hold back on what she needs from other people. Stop it. Stop it right now. You need to express your emotions. You need to tell people what you need from them and express it clearly. Now, the next card I've got for you is the Two of Wands. And here we see someone looking off in the distance. So there's some new things coming up on your horizon for the new year. And here we have the Seven of Pentacles. So you're going to have some choices to make amongst several good options. So overall, it is a fortunate reading for you. So I hope you find that useful. And let's see, where are we now? We are down to Tammy. Hi, Tammy. And hello to Jade Rising. Good to see you, Jade.
Yeah, all right. So, Tammy, the card that you get first is the Full Moon. Fully living in your powers, fully living in the powers granted to you by the universe. So you quite powerful is the first thing that's being told or being said. And you are being encouraged to live in and utilize those powers. The second card that you get is a card in its negative aspect, Iroshun. So afraid of what the future may be, you don't act. So if you were the kind of person who is paralyzed by uncertainty, well, that is upon you, and you are being encouraged to use your powers to make what is uncertain a little bit more certain. So if you were paralyzed by uncertainty, use your powers of divination to get some answers. Not just like in this reading that you're getting right now by me and Reverend Mary, but continue to open up your powers of divination so that you can be more certain on a regular basis. And the third card that you get is another card in its negative aspect. It is Ijioko. Those who deny reality will always live a distrustful life. So again, if you are someone who is paralyzed by uncertainty and you allow maybe your thoughts to ruminate or catastrophize, or if you are not the kind of person who contemplates all of the facts evenly, rationally, with your whole body, your whole mind, your whole spirit, you will continue to find that you are in a place of illusion, and that illusion will eventually erode away at your trust and your ability to rely on your intuition.
Okay. So, the first card I have for you is the Sun. Now, the Sun is a card of very good fortune. The next card I have for you is the Fool. And the Fool is the card of new beginnings. It means you're starting a new cycle and you can really go wherever you want to at this point in time. It's up to you. Choose a direction, decide where you want to focus, and go there. And then showing up again, even though I just thoroughly shuffled the deck, we have the Princess of Cups coming to say, quit suppressing your emotions, quit not telling people what you need from them. You're going to have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So stop it, stop it, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do yourself or the people you care about any good when you hold everything in.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, it all explodes, and then there's a huge mess that nobody quite knows what to do with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So not speaking your truth, not letting people know what your thoughts and your feelings are, holding that stuff in is absolutely a way of denying reality. And you gaslight yourself when you do that.
And it all comes out anyway. You will eventually just explode. You don't know what happened. The people around you don't know what happened. And it winds up with, but they were always so quiet. So, and we are all caught up. You are very welcome. Does anybody else have a question for us? Well, I will be back next Thursday. Reverend Brian will be with me.
That ought to be a good time.
He will. And Reverend Don will be with me on the 23rd. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Okay, we got one more question.
All right. And that's for Swack fan, right?
Yes, what's your question? Okay. Well, I thought we had one more question.
Sure, Swackton said that they did have one. So, in lieu of an actual question, I'll just go ahead and say that you got the full moon. Oh, what
Oh,
does
what
it
does
mean to dream of sleeping in a bed of crows? I don't interpret dreams.
I got nothing.
I will say check in with the Morrigan. I know that she is big on that crow symbolism. I know that
So is Odin.
is Odin crows or ravens?
Well, technically, the raven is the bird of the Morrigan,
Whoa.
but ravens and crows are kind of interchangeable in a lot of mythologies.
Okay. All right. So yeah, definitely check in with, the that's like a totem for some deities. The Morrigan, Odin, um, the battlefield. I did pull the first card before I saw your question. It's the full moon, which is a call for you to live and rise in your power. And then the second card
Uh,
that you get is a negative card, Ogiolo Bow. When death calls, there is no place to hide. So speaking of crows. And then your third card is a card in its positive form, Osa, fire and passion run through your veins. So go ahead and make some prayers to some death deities, or to a deity in your pantheon that does roll with the crows, and that should get you in a good position.
crows are also very intelligent birds, and you can make friends with crows. I remember reading about a guy who would sit on his front porch and smoke cigarettes, eat a sandwich, and like throw the bread crust to a crow. And one day the crow showed up with a pack of cigarettes of the brand he smoked.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
So, yeah, but our time is about up. So thank you everyone for joining us. Phoenix, thank you for coming. I always love having you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
All right. Blessed be everyone, and I will see you next Thursday.